Why did The Vegetarian, winner of the Man Booker International Prize, shock readers worldwide? How does it reveal the struggles deep within human nature? This novel by South Korean author Han Kang, in under 200 pages, sweeps the global literary scene with its delicate prose and profound philosophy, becoming a 21st century classic. Story follows Yeong-hye's transformation from eating meat to strict vegetarianism, unfolding a brutal allegory about body, desire, and societal oppression. With magical realism, Han Kang amplifies personal choice into a critique of patriarchy, consumerism, and human dilemmas. Today, let's step into the world of The Vegetarian to explore how it uses food as a lens to tear through modern society's facade and touch every reader's soul. Han Kang and her era, the roots of creation. To understand The Vegetarian, we must first enter Han Kang's inner world. Born in 1971 in Gwangju, South Korea, she grew up during the country's economic boom and social transformation. The shadow of the Gwangju democratization movement loomed over her childhood, with the bloody 1980 crackdown shaping her creative origins and sensitivity to violence and oppression. Han Kang once said, "Writing is my way of fighting forgetfulness and bearing witness to pain." This focus on human scars runs through her work. Published in 2007, The Vegetarian emerged as South Korea grappled with identity anxiety amid globalization. Economic prosperity brought material wealth but deepened gender inequality and consumerism. Women were trapped between expectations at home and work, their bodies a battleground for societal control. As a female writer, Han Kang keenly captured this conflict, crafting Yeong-hye's vegetarianism as a rebellion against patriarchy and consumer culture. Prose blends poetic tenderness with razor-sharp precision, whispering softly yet piercing readers' hearts. Han Kang's writing draws from Korean literary traditions and Western modernism. She admires Kafka's absurdity and Woolf's stream of consciousness, evident in The Vegetarian's triadic structure. Perspectives from Yeong-hye's husband, brother-in-law, and sister peel back her inner world without ever fully reaching her truth. This narrative style showcases Han Kang's literary skill and her deep insight into individual loneliness. The era's context also shapes the novel's core. In 2000's South Korea, meat consumption symbolized modernity, with family barbecue gatherings almost a ritual of social unity. Yet vegetarianism, an emerging trend, especially among young women, began challenging this norm. Han Kang elevates vegetarianism into a philosophy, exploring how it becomes a weapon for women in a patriarchal society and leads Yeong-hye to destruction. Her voice is both personal and societal, resonating with global readers on themes of freedom and oppression. Han Kang's personal experiences infuse The Vegetarian with soul. She once shared in an interview that childhood memories of slaughterhouses sparked her instinctive aversion to meat, inspiring Yeong-hye's nightmares. The trauma of the Gwangju Uprising heightened her sensitivity to violence, woven into Yeong-hye's resistance as a metaphor for all oppression. Her writing is not just personal expression but a response to South Korea's collective memory. Core themes: body, desire, freedom, and oppression intertwined. The Vegetarian's power lies in using vegetarianism to probe the complex ties between body, desire, freedom, and societal oppression. These four themes weave a net that traps Yeong-hye and mirrors everyone's existential struggles. 1. Body, the battlefield of control and rebellion. In The Vegetarian, the body is a direct target of societal control. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism stems from a nightmare of bloody meat and animal cries, prompting her to reject meat entirely. This choice isn't just a dietary shift, it's a revolt against patriarchal society. In traditional Korean families, women are expected to be submissive. Yeong-hye's husband demands she eat like a normal person, and her father forcibly shoves meat into her mouth. These scenes expose how the body becomes a tool of patriarchal control. Han Kang writes, her body was no longer hers but a vessel defined by others. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism is a refusal of this definition, an attempt to reclaim bodily autonomy. Yet this rebellion pushes her towards self-destruction. She wastes away and ends up in a mental hospital. Yeong-hye's tragedy reminds us that the body is both a starting point for liberation and the endpoint of societal oppression. The story echoes the experiences of South Korean feminist Kim Ji-young, who in the 2010s led anti-sexual violence campaigns, urging women to reject objectification and redefine their bodies. Her fight gained attention but faced intense family and public pressure. Through Yeong-hye, Kang distills the struggles of women like Kim Ji-young into a literary image, highlighting the body's complex role in modern society. Bodily control isn't just a women's issue. It's seen in broader norms, like South Korea's workplace culture, where employees face pressure to maintain neat appearances and healthy bodies. Yeong-hye's Vegetarianism invites us to question the body's role in modern life. Desire, a double-edged sword of suppression and eruption. Desire runs as a subtle thread through The Vegetarian. Yeong-hye's husband, outwardly conventional, is driven by possessive desire for her body. Her brother-in-law, an artist, seeks to create art through her. Her sister-in-law grapples between family duty and personal emotions. These characters' desires find an outlet in Yeong-hye's Vegetarianism. Kang delicately portrays desire's contradictions. For instance, the brother-in-law paints flowers on Yeong-hye's body, seeing her as art, but this act is essentially an invasion of her autonomy. He confesses, "I don't know if I'm loving her or destroying her." This reveals desire's destructive force and the tension between art and art ethics. Desire ties to consumerism, where meat eating in South Korea links to success, and barbecue restaurants are middle-class social hubs. Yeong-hye's Vegetarianism rejects this consumerist trap. Yet her extreme choice isolates her from society. Kang uses Yeong-hye to show how desire fractures individuals and society. Desire's contradictions appear in daily life. In the 2010s-2010 seconds, social media in South Korea drove young people to chase validation through food and fashion, often losing themselves in vanity. Kang reminds us to balance desire with reason to avoid destruction. 3. Freedom, a costly pursuit. Freedom is the heart of The Vegetarian. Yeong's Vegetarianism is a quest to break free from family, society, and cultural chains to find her true self. Kang writes, "She wanted to become a tree unbound by anything." This image pushes Yeong-hye's longing for freedom to its extreme. She rejects meat and even her human identity. But freedom comes at a devastating price. Her husband abandons her, her family commits her, and society brands her as mad. Her freedom costs her her body and life. Kang, through Yeong-hye, asks, is this freedom possible in a world of control? This resonates globally, like Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, where women fight for autonomy in oppressive systems. Freedom's pursuit prompts us to balance individual desires with collective values. 4. Social oppression, an invisible cage. Social oppression hums in the background of The Vegetarian. Kang, through Yeong-hye's plight, shows how patriarchy, consumerism, and collectivism build an invisible cage. Yeong-hye's father embodies traditional authority, seeing her vegetarianism as a betrayal. Her husband reflects modern indifference, caring only for her normality. The hospital marks society's rejection of outliers, labeling her resistance as madness. Kang, accepting the man Booker, said, "The Vegetarian isn't just about Yeong-hye, it's about all oppressed individuals." This universality transcends borders. Like India's pink sari movement in the 2010s, where women resisted forced marriages but faced violent backlash. Social oppression also lies in defining normal. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism is deemed abnormal, like 1960s American women labeled insane or rejecting traditional roles. Kang exposes the violence behind normalcy. Characters and symbols, Yeong-hye's allegorical world. The Vegetarian unfolds through three perspectives: Yeong-hye's husband, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law. Each reveals Yeong-hye's transformation and their own struggles. Kang uses symbols like trees, meat, and flowers to craft an allegorical world. Yeong-hye, from compliance to destruction. Yeong-hye is the novel's soul. She starts as a quiet housewife, dutifully playing her role. A nightmare about meat shifts her path. She rejects all animal products, her body wasting away as if turning plant-like. Her arc has 3 stages: awakening, rebellion, and destruction. Han Kang writes, "She was no longer human but a tree craving sunlight." Her arc echoes Kafka's metamorphosis, but Yeong-hye's rebellion carries a gendered edge, a protest against patriarchy. Her tragedy shows the cost of defiance in a rigid world. Husband and brother-in-law, embodiments of desire. Yeong-hye's husband and brother-in-law reflect male desire and control. The husband, a typical middle-class Korean man, values order and is angered by her vegetarianism, admitting, "I never loved her, I needed an obedient wife." The brother-in-law, an artist, paints flowers on Yeong-hye, turning her into art but exploiting her. Han Kang probes art's ethics and male gaze harm. 3. In-hye, witness to duty and regret. In-hye, Yeong-hye's sister, is complex, both a victim and complicit in patriarchy. She plays the perfect woman, suppressing her desires. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism forces her to confront her compliance. She reflects, "I thought I was protecting her, but perhaps I was just a coward." Her regret echoes Korean writer Park Won-su's heroines torn by societal pressures. 4. Symbols, trees, meat, and flowers. Han Kang's symbols deepen the novel's poetry. Trees represent Yeong-hye's yearning for freedom and nature. Meat symbolizes violence and desire, her rejection a stand against both. Flowers, painted by the brother-in-law, mask exploitation with beauty. These symbols elevate Yeong-hye's struggle into a universal reflection. Real-world lessons, from vegetarianism to life. The Vegetarian is more than literature, it's a mirror for humanity. Han Kang invites us to examine our choices, societal control, and freedom's cost. Examining bodily autonomy. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism asks, how much control do we have over our bodies? Modern society adds, social media, norms defines our bodies. Like Seoul office worker Roo Ji-yoon, who chose vegetarianism in 2020 to reclaim her identity, not to diet. Han Kang urges small acts of defiance, like rejecting unnecessary beauty standards. Facing desire's contradictions. The novel's desire conflicts prompt reflection on balancing impulse and reason. Like Japan's Aum Shinrikyo members, driven to extremes by unchecked desires. Han Kang suggests mindfulness in consumption, like the global minimalism trend. 3. Pursuing freedom's limits. Yeong-hye's tragic quest asks, where's freedom's boundary? Like Chinese entrepreneur Li Zhu, who left a high-paying job in 2015 to promote vegetarianism, balancing rebellion with collaboration. Han Kang shows freedom thrives in connection, not isolation. 4. Resisting oppression wisely. Yeong-hye's extreme defiance calls for smarter resistance. Like South Korea's 2018 #MeToo movement, blending anger with strategy. Han Kang inspires small, daily acts of rebellion. 5. Reflecting on ecology and ethics. Yeong-hye's vegetarianism sparks thoughts on human nature, TIs, and food ethics. Like Greta Thunberg's climate strikes and vegetarianism to combat industrial farming. Han Kang urges eco-conscious choices, like reducing meat consumption. Quotes in conclusion, a mirror for humanity. The Vegetarian is an allegory of humanity and freedom, using vegetarianism to unravel body, desire, and oppression. 5 quotes capture its philosophy. Her body was no longer hers but a vessel defined by others. She wanted to become a tree, unbound by anything. I don't know if I'm loving her or destroying her. Meat is the symbol of violence and the start of desire. I thought I was protecting her, but perhaps I was just a coward. This novel is everyone's story, urging us to face our choices and challenge control. Its power transcends literature, a beacon for reality. As Han Kang said at the Man Booker ceremony, literature's power is in amplifying oppressed voices. May Yeong-hye's story inspire you to find your own defiance and freedom.